All right, YouTube, welcome back to the Crypto Boys. Today, we got a great video that we're going to talk about some Bitcoin news, some updates, why you should have it in your portfolio, and we're going to look at the charts. So let's get into it. So let's pull up the charts, shall we? Let's see. Okay, so first off, I do want to talk about some news in the Bitcoin world. Okay, so Bitcoin itself, it says, let's see, may not last that much longer. Okay, so why? Why will it not last that much longer? That sounds pretty bearish to me. Well, this dude right here, Aswar Prasad, senior professor in international trade policy at Cornell University, sounds like a smart guy. Well, basically what he's saying is Bitcoin itself may not last much longer. Well, why exactly is that? Basically what he is saying, he's talking about blockchain, the technology that makes cryptocurrency, and he's saying that Bitcoin uses blockchain technology and it is very inefficient. So basically, he's saying that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is not a bad thing, and he doesn't think that it will not be around much longer because it does not work. But if you dive deeper into the actual article here itself, talks about more generally the other cryptocurrencies having basically the utility from the other types of cryptos that are out there, the layer 2s and the other type of currencies that are faster. They're talking about Ethereum a little bit in this article as well, to where he's basically saying Bitcoin was awesome. And the other part of this article that I do want to talk about is how now normal centralized banks are starting to adopt something like this. They feel like they're missing out now. It's been around since 2008. They're just now hopping into the space and saying, well, if people are going to try to start getting into this cryptocurrency, we want to have our own digital currency that people will continue to utilize. Really, it's just like getting a membership to anything else. If you get points for your credit card or something like that for mileage, it's a way to keep you in the system, to keep you coming back to their product. And so banks are going to want to now do this if they're starting to take money out of the banks to go into cryptocurrency. So it's really important for them to try to stay up onto it. So let's look back at this article here. Cryptocurrency lit a fire under central banks to start thinking about issuing digital versions of their own currency. So they are now trying to think about how can we stay relevant so that people continue to use our money, because they don't want you to take all of your money out of the bank and now put it into cryptocurrency. So that is one thing that definitely has to be looked at. I would say that's pretty bullish on cryptocurrency and the crypto space in general. Let's look at this next article that I did want to touch on just very, very briefly. So this one right here is Mr. Ray Dalio. Okay, he is a hedge fund titan. This man has lots and lots of money, and he has just come out and said, hey, he basically describes cryptocurrency as impressive, as he confirms that he does hold Ethereum and Bitcoin, and said that cash might just be the worst investment. Just like every other billionaire or people that have money, they're very skeptical at first of something. You can get really rich, but it's a bubble. It's going to pop. You're going to lose all your money. Well, he's started to figure out that maybe that's not the case, especially with inflation rate being over 6.5% this year. So if you didn't get a 7% raise, which I don't know of many people that are doing that. Maybe John Deere or something, if you're in the Quad Cities and know what I'm talking about. They just were on strike and got a bunch of money, blah, blah, blah. So anywho, if you're not getting that massive raise, then you are not beating inflation this year. So you need to find a medium to basically not use or not lose your purchasing power. Cryptocurrency has the potential to do that because inflation is not going to change the cryptocurrency space in the sense of you're not going to be able to spend this crypto as you would before. Inflation will actually help cryptocurrency because people are going to want to get out of the US dollar and put it into either stable coins or other cryptocurrencies so they do not lose their purchasing power. I mean, it's as simple as that if you really think about it in the smallest sense that you possibly can. I'm not a micro or a macro economist by any means, if that's even the word, but I do know a little bit about money and how it kind of works, and so I think that's really important to pay attention to. Now, into the charts, because I do want to look at that. I've been messing around with a little bit of TA, so let's dive into it. All right, on KuCoin here. So this is the daily chart. So a couple things that I did want to talk about. Bullish in one sense that we are forming this falling wedge. So traditionally, a falling wedge inside of this little channel back and forth here is pretty bullish, especially if it's coming down into this falling wedge. What tends to happen is it usually breaks to the upside. That's pretty typical for a falling wedge to break to the upside. At what point? Well, we're kind of bouncing back and forth here, so who knows exactly. Hopefully, we're staying above this support at about 42,000, which we were getting earlier. I will show you kind of that here in a minute on the weekly time frame, but that is kind of what we're looking at here for a potential short-term bullish scenario. Now, if we're looking at the weekly, we can also see it, I guess, on the daily, but the weekly time frame is starting to form a little bit of a head and shoulders if we're looking at that kind of trend here. So head and shoulders, here's your shoulder, here's your other head kind of coming down. This doesn't always play out, but it looked like it might be playing out. Head and shoulders is typically a bearish pattern. So if that's the case, usually this is the other support that you're going to look for here. So, you know, I was just talking about we might meet this support down here. This is about 40,000. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, that might be the other neck, I guess, of the shoulders, and so that might pop back up. Typically it meets about that same level, which would be about the 50-ish $1,000 range, which is not what we are looking for Bitcoin. We want to reach higher highs, of course, and explode to the moon, make a bunch of money. But I don't know, man. It's looking awfully head and shoulders-ish. If we do meet that 50,000 and come back down, that might be a scary scenario there to where, you know, honestly, I don't know. It might be a not great time to be in the crypto market. So this is a little bit more a better representation of the head, the shoulders. We're coming back down potentially to meet that $40,000 mark, come back up to bounce to the 50, and then come back down. So basically, the moral of the story here is take profits if you are in profits and be smart about that. So I also want to say, do I think that Bitcoin should be in your portfolio? Yes, I do. I really do. I think it's a good avenue to invest some money into it, even if it's just dollar cost averaging some money into it weekly or monthly or whatever else. It doesn't have to be much. Maybe it's $100 a month, something like that. I don't know. I think that people should start putting money into it, especially if it does drop down over the next couple of months. We turn into a bear market. Who knows? I'm not very bearish right now. I don't think that that's the case at all. I do still think that we are in an uptrend and still bullish. So that's just looking at it in the short time frame. People can get really, really caught up in the short time frame. So I just wanted to say, hey, here's a look at what we're seeing with the charts. Things could easily change, but I did want to kind of bring that to light that there are very bearish scenarios and news going on in the news right now. You just have to look for them, because there's lots of FUD out there. I mean, people are going to want to, especially the banks, the central banks are trying to not have you take all of their money out, or your money out of their banks, and put it somewhere else, because that's how they make their money. So, you know, just a FYI for you and for me, pay attention to what's going on around us. I think it's very, very important at this point. If you guys have questions on what the heck I'm talking about, head and shoulders patterns, or how is this bullish or how is this bearish, you got to ask away. You got to drop some comments in the description below. We have lots of great feedback from you guys. So A, thank you for that. And B, keep it coming, because we want to continue to produce videos for you guys so that you're getting something out of it and hopefully staying informed on what's going on around us in the crypto space. It's a very diverse space. So, you know, send us the comments. Make sure also, while you're here, you might as well like the video. It helps us spread these videos out to other people. Hopefully you're liking what we're doing here. We got some sick new lights. They're blue. We got a blue bull in the background, Longhorn, but you know what it is. So yeah, like the video. While you're here too, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We will catch you guys soon on the next video.